You're live.
We are live. Okay. Lili Nashmas, a substitute Maggid Noam Fix's father, Nachman ben Chaim.
Why didn't he bring like cake and stuff?
And he provided us with, what do you mean? There's nothing like pizza.
Pizza.
Provided us with pizza.
Homemade.
All right. We're holding Daf La Metes Omid Aleph. Is this too close, Mendy? What's going on here?
No, that's right.
No, it's too close. His head should be inside, not half.
All right. La Metes Omid Aleph, 4 lines down,
A little
Itmar.
too close here.
It's great. I like it when you're close. At least once a week, I'll have I'm going to America tomorrow. I'll be able to bring it with me. It's going to be Gishma.
Avi made it.
Says the Gemara. Avi made it all the way from the ER today. Refuah Shleimo. Here he is. Wow. Such. You know, it's becoming a thing. Like this week, we had Levi coming from Hadassah. You're coming from Hadassah. Now we have Ehrenfeld in Hadassah. Moshe, if you're watching, Refuah Shleimo. Okay. Rabbi Isai, Anaf Litzonus. Daf La Metes Omid Aleph Itmar. So we know if somebody shechs an animal for Avodah Zarah, what's the halacha? Rabbi Isai, if somebody shechs an animal for Avodah Zarah, Zivchei Mesim, it's also bano. So the Gemara wants to know, Hashechet es habeheima lizrik dam al Avodah Zarah ulahak techel b'al Avodah Zarah. What's the halacha? In other words, he does a ma'aser shchita with a kavana, not that right now it's Avodah Zarah, but later on, by the zrika, there's going to be Avodah Zarah. He's going to throw the blood of Avodah Zarah. Right now, it's not Avodah Zarah.
Talk about the Baal or the person that shlips the shechting?
The shechter, that's the main guy. He has the intent for Avodah Zarah. Ulak techel Avodah Zarah. Rabbi Yochanan Omar, if you all remember this sugya, big sugya in Avodah Zarah, not too long ago. Rabbi Yochanan Omar Psulo, Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish Omar Muteres. Why? What's the machlokes here? Rabbi Yochanan Omar Psulo mechashrim ma'avoda la'avoda v'yalfinu chutz mipnim. Since we learn chutz mipnim, what's chutz? What do you do outside of the Beis Hamikdash? Avodah Zarah. What do you do inside the Beis Hamikdash? What's the Isser that we're talking about inside the Beis Hamikdash? Pigul. Yeah? So we have 2 Isurim. We have the Isser of Avodah Zarah and the Isser of Pigul. What's Pigul? For those of you who haven't been by Zvachim Menachas, Pigul is a person that thinks in his mind while he's shechting that he's going to do the Zrika, let's say, Chutz L'Zman, Chutz L'Makom. Or he does the Zrika that he's going to be makter it, but you're doing one Avodah. I'm doing shchita now, thinking about another avodah with the wrong intent. So just like pigul is from one avodah to the other, as I'm doing shchita, I'm thinking about how I'm gonna do the 4th avodah at the wrong time. So too, by avodah zarah, that's also no good, even though avodah zarah is outside of the Beis Hamikdash. Pigul is inside the Beis Hamikdash. And Avodah Zarah is outside of it. So again, I could think about one avodah to another avodah, just like by shchita, by Avodah Zarah, he's thinking about during the shchita, he's thinking about he's going to do zrika la Avodah Zarah, and that ruins it. Why? Because I learned it from the Beis Hamikdash. Yalfinu chutz mipnim. Just like in the Beis Hamikdash, pigul goes from one avodah to the other avodah. So too, Avodah Zarah is no good. Rish Lakish Omar Muteres. Why? I cannot go from one avodah to the other avodah. If I shecht an animal with the intent of Avodah Zarah, gewaldig. But since I'm shechting the Avodah Zarah with the intent to do zrika Avodah Zarah, that doesn't work. Why? Because veloy gamrinon, veloy, by the way, not to be mistaken with and, but because veloy gamrinon, because chutz mipnim. I don't learn loy gamrinon. I don't learn chutz mipnim, and because I don't learn chutz mipnim, I don't learn avodah zarah from pigul. So therefore, I don't have a concept with the other avodah, because the only place that we find that I could think I could do a shchita and have a bad intent about doing something later on is only in the Beis Hamikdash by pigul. That's a special chiddush of pigul. But we don't borrow that chidush of pigul and put it on avodah zarah. That's what Rish Lakish holds. But Rabbi Yochanan holds you do.
The fact that this fellow is totally non-kosher as a shochet doesn't help.
Beautiful. So very good. Thanks for reminding me. I prepared on Shabbos, so sometimes What happens to this meat? Rish Lakish holds that this meat is mutter to eat, 100% mutter to eat, but the guy is chayiv misa. He's chayiv misa, says Taisvis. Why? Because he just did avodah zarah. So the question is, if he's chayiv misa, how can I eat his meat? We learned that somebody that's a mumr l'avodah zarah, I can't eat his meat. This Taisvis on Daf Yudal and Aleph, the first Taisvis says a couple of tiruts, and one of the tiruts he says is that on the first time this is the first time he's trying out avodah zarah. So on the first time what?
A one-off.
One-off doesn't make the president.
It doesn't make him a mummer, but he's chayiv misa. He's very chayiv misa for doing avodah zarah one time. There's no three strikes. There's no three strikes by avodah zarah. You do it once, you're gone. But his meat is mutter. Fine. His shchita is 100% badatz. I would say badatz what? And Memela what? So you're saying that by the time he got to the end? Oh, you're saying, that's what I thought. By the way, what you're saying is I thought that Tosis is going to answer that it happened together. He became a mummer and the shechita is together. Memela, it's mutter to eat, but he's chayiv misa. That's not what Tosis says. Tosis says on the first time he has one-off. He's not a mummer yet. He's chayiv misa and it's mutter to eat his meat. It's crazy. I don't know the Gemara Vayter.
You should do it tomorrow's daf.
Yeah.
It talks about, I think, if he says something before.
Amira?
Yeah.
Whoa. Tomorrow's daf?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. I only learned it twice, so I don't know
You
it.
don't care.
No, it's not tomorrow's daf.
Thank you. Phew.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It talks about Hisru by the Kibbutz of Asra.
Yeah, that's not tomorrow's daf.
I said it's not tomorrow's daf.
Not tomorrow's daf.
If
Yeah,
the
okay.
master not to do something with Makabel Asra, is that enough to make him already a mummer that shchita is not okay? So, matter if there was no Asra and he did it L'Shem Avodah Zarah, that shchita still is okay.
No, yeah, you know what? You're right in general that this whole concept is not so poshut that a guy that's mumla with the zara chayiv. Not that whole thing is to be discussed. By the Rishonim discuss it as well. In Taisus holds that it's a problem, and then the other Rishonim I think are even mechulik on that. Fine. Now, so what do we have until now? We have a case of a guy thinking pigul that we had throughout Zvachim, all Zvachim long. Pigul. It's a guy that while he's shechting, he's thinking a bad machshava about zrika. Now the Gemara brings a case of shechting and thinking about machshava about avodah zarah later on. Right now, as he's shechting, it's not a avodah zarah, it's a badat hechsher, everything is kosher. In a half hour from now, when he does zrika, the zrika is going to be for avodah zarah. And now we have a machlokes Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish. So now the Gemara is going to introduce a third case. V'azdu l'tamayu. This machlokes Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish and avodah zarah is exactly the same thing, says the Gemara, as another machlokes, the Itmar. Shachta lishma, lizrik dama shalei lishma. This is not mamish the first Mishnah in Zvachim and the first Mishnah in Menachos, but a similar case to the first Mishnah in Zvachim. What's the first Mishnah in Zvachim? That if I have a chatos, Rashi says talking about a chatos, also talking about a korban pesach, only two korbanos. That if I don't have the right intent for which korban it is, I mess up the korban. So if I bring a korban chatos and I think to myself I'm bringing a shlamim, I ruined it. Now here's a slightly different case. Shachta lishma lizrik dama shalei lishma. As he's thinking, as he's shechting his korban chatos, and he says to himself, I am shechting a korban chatos. So far so good. And then he messes up the zrika. Later on, I'm going to do the zrika for a shlamim. It's not like he made a mistake. He knows that he's shechting a chatos, and he purposely wants to play around there. He's one of those guys that's trying out all the halachas.
I'm sorry, it was in my
Levi.
It was in my hand.
Levi. Okay. Yeah, it just came out. It was one of those Freudian slips. Yeah, fine. Again, he shechted a carbon chatas and Shem carbon chatas gewaldig. But he said all the way at the end, by the Zrika part, I'm going to be throwing the blood to Shem Shlomim. That's exactly the case that we're talking about here. He's shechting Avodah Zarah. He says this is a kosher animal, everything's great. But when I get to the Zrika, I'm going to throw the blood from Avodah Zarah. So the same machlokes. Reb Yochanan Mapsulo, Reb Shimon ben Lakish Makshero, Reb Yochanan Mapsulo, Mechashim Avodah Lavodah, V'Gamrino Mechshavas Pigol. Now, if you notice, the only difference over here is there's no chutz and panim. Because l'shma by a chatos, where does that occur? Where do you shech the chatos? Inside the Beis HaMikdash. And you're learning it from Pigol that happens inside the Beis HaMikdash. So that's not a problem. Reb Yochanan says, I learn from Pigol. And just like Pigol, I could go from one avodah to the other avodah. So too, by l'shma, I could go from one avodah to the other avodah. Reb Shimon ben Lakish Amar, Ksheira, Emechashma avodah la'avodah, v'legamrinu machshavas Pigol. Reb Shimon ben Lakish says, no, I don't go from Pigol. I cannot learn from Pigol to the Shema, and therefore Lishma. If I think during the Shechita that I'm going to throw the blood, Shaloi Lishma, I'm going to think about another type of carbon instead of Chatzis. I'm going to think to myself Shlamim. It doesn't ruin it, says Rish Lakish. Utzricha, according to Rish Lakish, it doesn't. According to Rebbe, it does. What?
We're talking only machshava here at this point.
No, but we know that Rashi says that all this is bedibur v'chulu. When it comes, that's the whole zvachim. We're not going to get into that. Says the Gemara Tzricha, I need a machloikis in the two cases. I need a machloikis in Avodah Zarah, and I need a machloikis by what do you call it? By Shlishma. The Itmar Bahal. If I just said the case of Avodah Zarah, it's very different, the two cases, because we have by us the case by Avodah Zarah, it's pechutz. What do you do Avodah Zarah? You do it outside the Beis Hamikdash. So that's why Rishim ben Lakish said, I don't learn from Pigol, because it's very different. And Mamela Rishim ben Lakish said that it doesn't answer from if just thinking about another avodah doesn't make the carbon, doesn't make it Avodah Zarah. But if you're talking about lishma inside the Beis Hamikdash, I do learn it out from Pigol, and it would be also Rish Lakish would admit. And if I only said the case of lishma, that is machlik to Rish Lakish in lishma, and lishma happens inside the Beis Hamikdash, that's where Rabbi Yochanan said that I learned it's very, very similar to Pigol. It's identical to Pigol. Just like Pigol, you think about Zrika while you're doing Shechita, so too you think about Zrika while you're doing Shechita by Lishma, and it should be Asr. Ava Baha, but outside of the Beis Hamikdash by Avodah Zarah. Now, if you remember yesterday, we had in the Mishnah, Lamed Beis, Lamed Chesed Beis, we had a machloikis in the Mishnah. What happened? Somebody, a sheichet lo ovid kechavim shchita zikshera. If a person shechs for Avodah Zarah, is shchita is kosher. Reb Lezer poisel. Why? Because what happened was he shechted for a guy. He shechted not for Avodah Zarah. He shechted for a guy. And the shaila is, does the guy, the owner of the animal, have intent for Avodah Zarah or not? Yeah? Yeah. And if he has intent, we had a machlokes, could an owner have intent while another person is shechting?
Does it make a difference if it's a Jew or a goy?
The guy shechting is a Jew, the owner is a guy, and that's a big difference. That's the question. If a guy has the wrong machshava, does he have a bad machshava Avodah Zarah or not? That's the whole shaila in the Mishnah. Comes along Rabbi Yossi, and he says, let's see inside in the Gemara.
What's the issue?
Omer Rabbi Yossi, again, what's the case? Case is, Goy Muhammad has a cow, and he goes over to the Jewish sheichet and says, I heard you're a sheichet, could you please shech this animal for me? So he shechts it. The question is, while he was shechting it, maybe the guy had intent for Avodah Zarah. He's the owner, and perhaps he could have power over his animal during the shechita. So there's two questions. And yeah, the Jew wants to eat it. He wants to. They heard that there was a kosher shechita. Everything was done by a Jew. So now Jews want to eat it. The guy wants to sell to the Jews. It happens every day. It happens every day, right? In the slaughterhouse, who owns the cows? The guy who owned the cow. and you buy it off the guy. So could a guy have power over it? So there's two shilas. A, does a guy even have those kind of machshavas in his head? Is he thinking about avodah zarah while you're shechting? So that's a machlok between the Tanakh and Rebbe Elazar. Another shaila, even if he does have that kind of machshava, does it work? Meichatesa, he's not doing the shechita. How could he have a machshava in his house? He's lying on his couch. He's thinking that his animal is going to be avodah zarah. He's not even doing the shechita. Fine. Comes Rabbi Yossi. Now that we know that, okay, that's the background. Yeah, that's it. Where is he?
Get the shirt. Get the shirt edge.
Okay.
What shirt are you bringing to see
Not. We have to edit that so people don't get scared when they watch it. Ooh, I got you, Nikama. I know we're even. One up.
It's 1-2-1.
No, it's 2-1. 2-1. But mine is water. It's a whole different.
Fine, only water.
We're going to push it over to your side.
Hillel asked me quietly if I could do it, so next time you don't have to see it again. You asked, I answered you. Okay, says the Gemara. So now, right, we understand what's going on in the Mishnah. Let's see what Rabbi Yossi says in the Mishnah that we learned yesterday, not like 6 months ago. Mazar Rav Sheishes, but I have a kash from this. Why? Because it says in the Mishnah, Omer Rabbi Yossi, Kal v'choyma advarim, I have a kal v'choyma. Uma b'mokim shemachshava poiseles, b'mugdoshim. Eina kol olech el achar oived. Just like in the Beis HaMikdash, who has the power over the machshavos? Only the kohen performing the shechita, and not the owner. Mokim shemachshava poiseles b'chulin. So in a place where there's no machshava that passes, certainly only enidin shleiyeh akol hoylech el achar shoichet. So of course, you hear the Kal v'chomer in the Beis HaMikdash that everything goes after the shoichet. Kal v'chomer outside. Now, when we learned the Mishnah, I mentioned this Gemara because it's very, very hard to understand. Simply, what do you mean? There's no machshava by Chullin? Outside of Beis HaMikdash, there's no machshava. There is machshava. What's the machshava? Avodah zarah. I could think about my animal, avodah zarah. What do you mean? So the Gemara addresses that. It's a whole nother pshat in the Mishnah. If you say that I can't have any thought about my animal because it's just chulin and thoughts are only in the Beis HaMikdash, reserved for the Beis HaMikdash, then you just erase the whole concept of machshava of avodah zarah by an animal, and we know that's not true. There is such a thing as making your animal avodah zarah. So obviously we're talking about not like it seems like from the Mishnah, just a simple machshava. We're talking about a complicated machshava. From one avodah to another avodah. In other words, as he was shechting, he thought himself he's going to do the zrika la'avodah zarah. That we don't find b'chulin. In the Beis HaMikdash, I can think from one avodah to the other avodah. Where? By pigul. And over there, it's only in a kol hoylech elo achar hoivet. Only the kohen has the power. In a place by Chullin where I cannot go from one avodah to the other avodah. In a din shelo yeh hakol hoylech elo achar shoichet. So certainly, says Rabbi Yossi in our Mishnah, that only the shoichet has the power to make avodah zarah, to make a problem, and not the goy. Okay?
You mean, so it's saying that the goy can never invalidate the offering?
According to Rabbi Yossi, a goy has no power over his own animal. Only the shoichet does. If the goy shechts his own animal for the avodah zarah, there will be avodah zarah. What does Rabbi Yossi say? What?
We said earlier, if the Jews watching them, then it might be all right.
If a guy does avodah zarah and the Jew's watching, but okay. Yeah, if the guy does shechita, we're not talking about that. We're talking about a Jew doing the shechita. Could the guy have power? What does Rabbi Yossi say? Rabbi Yossi, what comes out? Comes out like this. Rabbi Yossi says that if you're outside of the Beis HaMikdash, what happens? You cannot go from avodah la avodah, says Rabbi Yossi. Another thing says Rabbi Yossi, inside the Beis Hamikdash. What's the Kal V'chomer? Let's do the Kal V'chomer again. Inside the Beis Hamikdash, I go from Ma'avodah L'Avodah. But outside the Beis Hamikdash, no, it's dangerous. Outside the Beis Hamikdash, I cannot go Ma'avodah L'Avodah. So basically, this is a bam kasha on Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish, both of them. Because Rabbi Yochanan says I could go Ma'avodah L'Avodah inside the Beis Hamikdash and outside of the Beis Hamikdash. Rabbi Yossi just said you could only go Ma'avodah L'Avodah inside the Beis Hamikdash and not outside the Beis Hamikdash. On the other hand, he just said that you could go Ma'avodah L'Avodah inside the Beis Hamikdash. So, but Rish Lakish said you can never go Ma'avodah L'Avodah. Again, Rish Lakish is the one that says you can never go from one Avodah to the other Avodah. Rabbi Yossi says you could, where? In the Beis Hamikdash. And Rabbi Yochanan says you could always go Ma'avodah L'Avodah even outside the Beis Hamikdash, and that's also a problem because Rabbi Yossi says only inside the Beis Hamikdash. So Rabbi Yossi is a Tana, and it's a big kasha. He's in the Mishnah. He's a kasha of Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish. So what do? Pnim kasha l'Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, chutz kasha l'Rabbi Yochanan. Says the Gemara. Bishloima pnim l'Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish le'kashya. Listen to this teretz. One of the only times the Gemara ever says such a teretz, and it's a hafl of a fella teretz. It's like it needs a lot of understanding. No, it's not a kasha. Why? You're asking me how did Rish Lakish? How could he dare say something against the Mishnah? Hamika made the shama mi Rabbi Yochanan. He didn't hear the Mishnah yet from his Rebbe Rabbi Yochanan. Lebasa the shama mi Rabbi Yochanan. And then after he realized that there's a Mishnah, a Mefurish Rabbi Yossi, so he agreed to his Rebbe. Look at Taisus on the bottom. It says it doesn't make any sense, and there's no teretz in Taisus. Taima, my tirutz was Shemitarit Shamar Rish Lakish Koyin Shalom at Mishnah. Rish Lakish is arguing with Rabbi Yochanan before he knows Mishnayos. Mishnayos. You tell me he was a robber yesterday and he just came to the yeshiva and he's arguing with Rabbi Yochanan. Oh, and they put in this machlekes. He's a newbie in Gemara and Mishnah. He doesn't know anything, and he's a machlekes and they recorded his machlekes. And you're right, he didn't know what he's talking about. It's impossible. If Rish Lakish is arguing with Rabbi Yochanan, then he knows Shisha Shizr Mishnah about Peh, and he's arguing. What does it mean? It's a big pella. The Arishonim, the Rabbeinu Chananel, he brings down another girsa here, and it says that Rish Lakish, the girsa was that he didn't know that the psul of Rabbi Yossi was on pigul. Machshev is pigul, that's what he was talking about. Fine, but Taisus doesn't agree with that. They didn't have that girsa, and it's a very schwer thing, and it's very unique for the Gemara to answer a machlekes Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish that Rish Lakish didn't know a Mishnah. Okay. Now,
the Gemara knows that Rish Lakish changed his mind, or this, because we have such a hard kasha, we have to say
yeah,
he changed his mind.
Right. We have to say, and it's mashman the words like that.
But it's weird because we have so many times that we have kashas and whatever, and we stay kasha.
Right. Exactly.
Don't say they changed their mind.
Exactly. I don't know. That's why the Rach makes a lot of sense, almost.
They asked those questions. They asked down here. At least they asked all these questions.
Yeah, everybody talks about it.
it.
Right. It's not. You don't have that in Shas, really. I don't know. I didn't check, but I'm assuming it's not. If it's in Shas, maybe one more time. I don't know. It's not something that you find. Even you have a Bam Kasher and Shlakish, you don't revert to that. Oh, he didn't learn the Mishnah. Rashi has two pshatim here. One is that he didn't hear it himself, or he didn't learn from Rabbi Yochanan. But the bottom line is what?
The pshat is that he told that Rabbi Yochanan says Misvara. So L'schol from Misvara. But after he heard from Rabbi Yochanan that it's not Misvara, so he accepted it.
So hard to say.
Where is this?
You know about this story, and then you
Look at the no, but Kamet the Shamalach Masnisin Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi Abba Svar the Rabbi. What was that? Like Finon. The Bazim Shamalach Masnisin Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi. Okay. By the way, I missed a nice Rashi here on Pnim Kashil Rish Lakish. I just said straight up, but look at Rashi Pnim Kashil Rish Lakish. Rashi explains it much better than I explained it. Rashi says, going back a second, Rashi says because it says the word poiseles v'loiktani mefageles. Shma mino b'shar psuli pnim nami. Kigon zrikas dam chata shlo d'shmo kutoni d'mechashvim. Fine, just we're not in the sugi anymore, but it was a very important Rashi that I missed. Okay, weiter says the Gemara. Elo chutz kasher Rabbi Yochanan. Again, what's the kasher? Rabbi Yochanan holds that I learn avoda. This is avoda la'avoda. In other words, just like in Pigul, I could have a machshava during the shechita about zrika. So too, by avodah zara, I could have a machshava during shechita on zrika, even though it's outside of the Beis Hamikdash. Rabbi Yossi says mefurish, no, outside of the Beis Hamikdash there is no such concept. Only by lishma and Pigul inside the Beis Hamikdash. So it's a kasher Rabbi Yochanan. U'ma'isiv lo u'mefarik lo. By the way, just they discuss also. So what's the big kasha? Just say the Rabbi Yochanan was like there's other people in the Mishnah. Rabbi Yossi is one man d'amar. You have the Tanakama and Rabbi Lezer. Fine. Who ma'isiv lo v'hu mefarik lo. Maybe that's the word. I don't know. Whatever they say over there. Who's this? Rav Sheshes who asks the kasha, he answers. Yeah, it is. You're right. It is halacha Rabbi Yossi. No, halacha Rabbi Yossi. Yeah. Good point. Very good. Who ma'isiv lo v'hu mefarik lo? We're not talking about, says the Gemara, ma'avoda la'avoda. We're talking about something else. We're talking about ba'arba avodos. We're talking about the four avodas: shchita, kabbalah, hilacha, and zrika. Uma b'mokim shemachshava b'yisels b'mugdashim b'arba avodos. Rabbi Yossi's kavachomer is as follows: not that I could go ma'avoda la'avoda, rather within the four avodas, I could go with all four avodas. I could pasul. Everything goes by the shoichet, by the kohen. But when it comes to avodah zara, I don't have the four avodos. I can only think avodah zara during shchita and zrika, but not by kabbalah and hilacha. Rashi brings psukim, and he says even aktara that I could have the machshava doesn't count because I don't ruin it for the animal. I don't ruin the animal. Enudin. So therefore, we're not talking about avodah. You're asking me a question. It seems from Rabbi Yossi that you cannot go ma'avodah la'avodah and avodah zara. Rabbi Yossi never was talking about avodah la'avodah. Rabbi Yossi was talking about avodah zara is only two things versus four machshavas that I have in the Beis Hamikdash by Pigul. That's his kavachomer. 4 against 2, nothing to do ma'avodah la'avodah. So there's no raya from avodah la'avodah against Rabbi Yossi, against Rabbi Yochanan. Now, Taizer just points out here that the Gemara says there's two things that you could do in avodah zara, a machshava avodah zara, one by shchita and one by zriga. So, as Taizer, where do you find that you could do avodah zara that I can ruin the meat of an animal when I throw the blood, the covered avodah zara? That doesn't ruin the meat of the animal. Well, I shecht the animal, I can ruin the animal. I make the whole animal into avodah zara. But if I waited 20 minutes and the animal's already shechted, how could it go backwards, retroactive, and make my animal avodah zara? And he says all the way at the end of Taisus, the top Taisus, the last 3 words, da miya itzer. You have to say that's talking about the blood, which is very interesting. He could answer the blood of the animal by throwing part of it for avodah zara. Zog the Gemara. I have a right to Rabbi Yochanan that if I think during the shechita of an animal, not that right now it's going to be avodah zara, but later on in a half hour when I do the zrika it's going to be avodah zara, then the animal right now, the whole thing is avodah zara. It says mefurish, just like Rabbi Yochanan. Hashaychet es habehem alizrik damal avodah zara, ulahaktir chabel avodah zara, harei edu zivchei mesim. Not only is it puzzle, but it's mamish asur bahana, exactly like Rabbi Yochanan said. What happens if a guy, a Jew, he shechts an animal, not l'avodah zara. All of a sudden, he wakes up and he says, "Oh, I want to be a sheiketz. I want my animal to be avodah zara." What's the halacha? So what's the shaila? The shaila is moichiach sofer al tchilasoi. Do I say, look, he's an avodah zarnik, so he probably also shechted the animal avodah zara. Says the Gemara, sorry, Chachamim parav, not mutter, not asur. Why? Omer Rav Chisda le'omer ba isur mishum k'foidon d'Rabbanon le'heter mishum k'foidon d'Reb Eliezer. Again, this is something interesting. Like you have to give covet to both sides of the machlekes. Again, something I don't know. Like it's interesting. They didn't come up with a psak. That what? That the Tanakam in our Mishnah. Going back to our Mishnah, who's Chachamim? In our Mishnah, the Tanakama said that we're not concerned that a person stam goy doesn't have machshavas avodah zarah. And Rebbe Lezer in the Mishnah says stam goy does have a machshava of avodah zarah. Says the Gemara. So here also lo yomer ba isur mishum k'foidon d'Rabbanon leheter mishum k'foidon d'Rebbe Lezer. Maybe the same machlokes. Typically, a guy doesn't have a machshava of avodah zarah. So even though this Jew came up in the middle and he said, "I do have avodah zarah. I want this for avodah zarah," but 5 minutes ago when he did the shechita, he didn't have the machshava according to Chachamim. But according to Rebbe Lezer, that a guy always has the machshava of avodah zarah. So this Jew that said that his animal should be avodah zarah, he also had a machshava of avodah zarah. Says the Gemara, what's the connection? Rabbanon said, "Stam a goy. Take any guy off the street. Meichates is thinking about avodah zarah. But this Jew, he said, "Mefurish, I want avodah zarah." So maybe he does think about avodah zarah all day long. But over here, that he said, "Mefurish, I want this to be avodah zarah," and he said in the middle of all the avodas. So obviously, he also meant that in the beginning. Inami, another distinction I can make between the two cases. The stam where you're talking, you're dealing with a guy, and you don't know what a guy's thought is. Assume the worst. He's always thinking about avodah zarah. Abi Yisrael, but this Jew, this renegade Jew that now decided to be avodah kechavim, to do with avodah zarah. That 5 minutes ago he's a Rasha. Right now he became a Rasha. Elo Merav Shezvi le'omer b'heter mishum k'foidoi the Shimon ben Gamliel. It's because of Rav Shimon ben Gamliel. So now the Gemara has to figure out which Rav Shimon ben Gamliel. Only 2 tries. On the second try we get it. What is it? Hey Rav Shimon ben Gamliel. Eli Rav Shimon ben Gamliel the Gitin. This nan. It says by get habari shomar kisu get liishti rotzel l'sachik ba. If a very healthy person is going on a trip and his wife pesters him for a get. Why? She's worried he's not going to come back. So what if he doesn't come back? It's a little different, almost. She's worried that she's going to have to marry her stinking brother-in-law and she doesn't get along with the guy. He's a young... What?
2 years old, or he's 2 years old and she's going to have to wait.
Yeah, she doesn't want to wait. She doesn't like the guy. She knows him very well, yeah. It says Yivlik Bachea, not Achiv. And Kitzur, yeah, they pulled this guy out of the closet. Not this guy. I'm not marrying this guy. So, yeah, she doesn't want Zika. So she says, give me a get. There's a whole fight. You hear the guy, give me a get. He says, you know what? He goes to the 2 Eidim, he says, write a get for her. Oh, Baruch Hashem. But he never said the key word is tnu. He said kisvu.
So why should he check it like that? He can make it.
Why do we all chop it like that? What do you mean?
The whole thing here is that she wants the get, and he doesn't want to give him the get. Right?
Yeah.
So why didn't he just write a get with tonight if I don't come back?
Maybe like Gershon said. But what about a guna?
The get with tonight doesn't work.
No, in Leibasi Mikarav about the 12 Chodesh, it works. Why not?
It's like the guys going off to war, you know, that they give a get before they go to war.
That's mamish a get. Over here saying it now? Okay. Listen, time out.
If he doesn't come back, I don't
understand your question. You're talking about a guy that made a joke. That didn't do it. He didn't know this halach. I mean, there's a million cases. You're right. If he wanted to do it, if there's ways.
That he wants to calm her down a bit. That's what Rashi said. She's checking him.
She's right.
And he doesn't want to give.
He's messing with her, right? That's why it says that. She's like, Baruch Hashem, he's writing a get.
He does a half.
Calms her down. You
Yeah.
don't do anything to myself.
I'm doing this for your good. I'm going for business. I'm going to America for business. I promise. Give me a get. All right. Habari Shama Kisu get lishti tomorrow morning.
Anything else?
I have a tzaddikus. She didn't ask me for a get. It's one of the special ones.
He's a bari.
That's your brother.
I have children. Ratzal l'sachik bo. Now, Zog the
She
Gemara.
has children.
What?
She has children.
No, the guy has to have children. Huh? For Yibum, you need a.
She has children.
Yeah, we both. Umaise babari, says the Gemara. I don't know. Doesn't like this whole get thing. Think about it. You guys are like, this guy's a Meshugana. She's asking. What a lucky. Okay.
She knows. I'm afraid she knows what he gets up to.
What?
That's right there.
No, I know she's watching. That's why I said I'm going, and she didn't ask. I said she's a tzaddik, so I gave her a lot of
She
cover.
knows what other men get up to on business trips.
What is that?
Recorded.
All right, Zog the Gemara. Umaisa babari, and there was a true story. Says the Gemara. Shomar kisu get l'ishti. He said, write a get, and these clowns, these witnesses actually gave her the get. Maybe that's part of the joke. He never said no, but they gave it to her. V'ala l'gag.
That's why.
This is a crazy story. He goes onto the roof.
And a committee.
We don't know yet what happened. V'ala l'gag v'nofav v'meis. Like what's his name? Secretary Levayev. Lev Levayev. She jumped.
We don't know.
Not as a shaila. Was it a jump or they jumped her?
Testing the gravity.
Right. A couple weeks ago. You don't know the whole Maisa with this. He's in big tsaras now. They want to extradite him, and all of a sudden, the secretary the next day.
She's the fall guy.
So whatever. What?
She's the fall guy.
Enough of a mace. Omer Reb Shimon Gamliel. So we're trying to say maybe this is the Reb Shimon Gamliel that we were worried about. We didn't want to insult. Mishum Kvoidai. That what? He says like this. If a person jumped off the roof, he committed suicide. So then the fact that he gave a get to his wife, he told the Edom 5 minutes before the jump, write a get. When he forgot to say tnu, he really meant tnu. So maybe it's a get. It's a good get. Because we have to go into his head. Did he really want to give a get and he just messed up? He didn't say the right lashon, but he really meant give it. But if it was a mistake, it happened by mistake that he died. And you get, he didn't mean it because he didn't say tnu. You're bringing me a maisa. You say a whole maisa. That's the exact opposite of what we said in the beginning. We said in the beginning that regardless of what, if he doesn't say tnu, it's not a get. Says the Gemara, what it means to say is vachiktani. You just have to insert these words. In other words, in those days they knew that this is how it was pasha to them. That there's a concept, if you see from the end what the beginning is, what he really meant, then that's what it is. From the end, you see, from his committing suicide, you saw that he meant to give the get. Harez the get. What? So we get to our sugya. When a person checks for Avodah Zarah, he checks normally. 5 minutes later, he says, "Oh, and by the way, I want to do Avodah Zarah." So maybe over here also we should say, according to Reb Shimon Gamliel, you see what the guy's mindset was, and in the shechita was Avodah Zarah. Says the Gemara, why have to be worried about this Reb Shimon Gamliel? There was an indication before he fell off the roof. He already started the process. He said, I want you to write a get for my wife. So maybe he really meant to give it to her. Mashakin over here, there's no indication in the shechita. Everything he said happened after the shechita. He said, I'm doing Avodah Zarah after the shechita. So make a taisa. What?
Maybe he wanted to really mess her about.
Yeah, why?
Give her the gets parcel, he jumped.
And now she doesn't know what to
She's
do?
stuck in this big shire, like, is it good or not? Does she have a get?
Well, you mean she wouldn't even be able to do? No, you could do chalitza. Why? She wouldn't mess her up. She wouldn't mess her up because Yibum they for sure wouldn't allow her to do, and they'll just say do chalitza from misafik, and she's potter anyways. She's chalitza and death of her husband, and that's it. She wouldn't.
She's not allowed to do Yibum, she has
All right.
to release.
Elo Omar Ravina Mishum Kvoide de Reb Shimon Gamliel Dahacha. Another Reb Shimon Gamliel. This is the last one. The Sanya. It says by a person that's about to die, Hakoisev nechasav la'acherim v'ayu b'mavadim. He wants to gift somebody everything, including his slaves. V'amar halo iyav shivam. I don't need them. I don't want them. First of all, either I don't want presents or I can't feed them. They're too expensive. I don't want slaves. Im hoya rabbi sheni kohen. If the second guy receiving the gift was a kohen, it's such a perfect gift. It actually works against his will that these slaves are like kohanim and they can eat truma. Now everybody's asking the question: how can you gift somebody something against his will? Gemara says, "Pshat." No, if a guy says, I don't want them, he doesn't get them, and who gets them? The Yoshim of the first guy. A guy doesn't want a gift, you can't force him. Obviously, if a guy doesn't want a gift, he doesn't get a gift. And if he's quiet, and then later on he decided to scream, if he knew about it and he didn't say a word, and then 10 days later, after he has these slaves and he realizes shvacha slaves, they just cost him money, then it's too late. What happened was, the guy that's dying, he gives a star with all these nechasim to another guy, and he says, you be zoicha for him. Okay. I want you to be zoicha. Now, zoch and shall be fun, but he's befanav. And what happened was he shasak. He didn't say anything. So Tanakama saw him shasa kenanu. Tanakama holds that his shtika is proof that he accepted it. Any scream, it was too late to scream. You don't scream when it's late. It's too late. Once it's yours, you can't scream. So this is the Reb Shimon Gamliel we're looking for. Again, the concept of that the end action proves what his das was in the beginning. Why didn't they scream right away? It's not in my hands. He gave it to that guy. When it gets to me, I'll make a big issue out of it. Reb Shimon Gamliel holds that the end could show us what the beginning is. So by Avodah Zarah, when in middle of, after the Shechita, the guy decides that he's going to do Avodah Zarah, that proves to me what his das was. Where was his mental state when he shechted? He was also in a Avodah Zarah minded state, and therefore it's asur. So because Reb Shimon Gamliel holds it's asur, we didn't want to pass him that it's mutter. And whoever's Mechuk Reb Shimon Gamliel says that it's mutter, we couldn't say that. Because we couldn't go either way. Mishum Kvoidem Reb Shimon Gamliel, we couldn't say that's mutter. Mishum Kvoidem of the Tanakama, we couldn't say that's asur.
Why did we have to get to the situation where there's an intermediary
Yeah.
In this Yerusha situation? If we go by what the fellow says at the end, then
There is no end. Because they gave it to him. If they gave it to him, the intermediary, the middle guy, just saves us. There's an extra time that halachically we wouldn't have if he gives it directly to the guy. If the guy dying gives it to the guy that receives the gift, then he has a split second to say no. He should say no right then. If he didn't say no, then it's too late. But if he gives it to the other guy,
because we don't say in that situation that we can look at the end decision. He makes a decision a week later. Why can't we accept that?
it's too late. You can't make you can't have charata after you koina. You made a kinyan. What's the difference if you go to the store and you pay money, or a guy gives you a gift? He gave you a gift. You received it. It became yours. 20 minutes later, you wake up. You know what? I don't want a slave.
Exactly.
Too late.
He's made a kinyan. You're saying?
Yeah, of course. He made a kinyan. It says. Or whatever the halacha is, it's a kinyan. If I fun of, there was a kinyan. So you have to have charata. You have to say no. You have to resist. You have to make a macha right away when you find out about it. But over here, since that guy is doing it for you, I had this in between thing. I could say, it didn't get to me yet. Who's he to be kind of for me? I'm standing right here. It's not in my hands. It's in his hands.
It says, now you should be until it gets to you.
Genayu.
Yeah, it says like this.
It's not bakava there. You know who I am? I should start screaming now. He's passive aggressive. It's like right now I'm not going to say anything. Tomorrow I'm going to scream.
Kinyan works on the basis of Zakh and Shalom Fun.
Right.
But it only works if it's a zechus. If he says it's not a zechus, I don't want it.
Right.
It's not a zechus.
Well, that's obvious. Of course, it has to be a schos. The question is, when did it happen? The question is, when do you apply that schos? When it goes to the guy's zoicha for you, or when it gets to your hands? Does he have the right to make a macha later on?
It's a zechus until we know otherwise.
Okay.
Is this guy
Says the Gemara. What?
tropus for the estate, or is he a shaliach for the person who's receiving it?
No, he's a shliach for the person receiving it. He's appointing him a shliach for the person receiving it in front of the guy receiving
So
it.
once it reaches his hands, he's kohen.
No. The person receiving didn't make him a shaliach.
The person giving it made him a shliach.
I want you to be a shliach, you're the avodim for him.
So once he has das, he accepts what you're saying.
Because
Once he
it gets to him.
if he doesn't, once it gets to him, and he doesn't, and he well, no, it depends. He might be zoiched according to everybody else. He's zoiched right away. No. If he doesn't make a macha.
Unless he says a macha right away while it's still in his hands.
Not according to Shimon Gamliel. If he didn't make a macha later, if he didn't make a macha right away when it gets to the other guy, then it should go to you right away.
If he didn't make a macha.
If he didn't make a macha.
Right. Because it's not a shaliach. It's not a shaliach.
Omer Rabbi Yudam Shmuel, and this is what Noam said before. Welcome back. I missed you. Omer Rabbi Yudam Shmuel. Halacha ki Rabbi Yosi. The halacha at the end of the day is like Rabbi Yosi. That what? A person, a person cannot decide on his animal while somebody else is shechting it that it's avodah zarah. It's not in your hands. It's only the shechter, the sheichet, has the right to make those kind of machshavas and nobody else. And therefore, says the Gemara, there were these Arabs, these Ishmaelim, that came to Tzikunya. Now Rashi here says a very interesting thing. Rashi says that these Yishmaelim, I don't think this applies today, but he says that these Arabs, they would shecht their animals after they died, even after they died. V'chein darkam, he says. This is a minhag. I don't think that applies today. I think halal is more, they're more makbid that the animal should be alive. I might be mistaken. But in those days at least.
They don't object to pre-shkita stunning.
Okay, those are technical things in shkita, but death, pre-death, if the animal is completely dead, if you have roadkill and you go and you slit its throat, is that considered shchita or not? Over here, Rashi says that's considered shchita according to these tayyim. It's not going to get to our sugya. What?
I'll try to find that tomorrow.
How? You have an Arab? I googled it. I had somebody Google it tonight, and they couldn't find it. It seemed from the lashon. We did a diuk in Google. It said that you have to do it something like while alive or something. I don't know. Anyways. It's not no get to the sugi. Rashi just sticks it in. I don't know why he sticks it in, but it says like this: Yov dichre tabachet Yisrael. They gave their rams to the sheichet, the Jewish sheichet. Armelahu, and they said to the Jew, Dom of etarbo l'didan. I want you to take. You will take the blood and the fat. Mashko uvisro l'didchu, and the meat and the skin, the hide goes to the Jew. Now, just I noticed here, Tosfos says a very interesting thing. There's no different master. The top Tosfos, we mentioned some of the Tosfos, and Tosfos all of a sudden says, smack in the middle of Tosfos says, "Ubemash zorku dam lavid zara achrikein loy cheshino." Tosfos points out from here that even if these goyim,
Most Muslim authorities also forbid the use of electrical, gas, or percussive stunning. However, other authorities state that stunning is permissible so long that it's not the direct cause of animal's death.
but stunning is not death. That's just stunning.
So long
Right.
as it's not the direct cause of the animal's death.
Oh, so it's mashma, another diuk, right? It's another diuk that if you can't even stun it, so certainly you can't kill it and then shecht it. They're not very makbid, by the way, on gimas, and they take literally a knife, a butcher knife. It's this thick. They over. No, there's no nails, and they don't care. That kind of is a joke. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
That's on people's heads.
But you hear this thing. Tosfos says maybe we should be choshed that these Arabs.
For Choyle, he has to be trained. It's better than halal.
No.
But you hear Tosfos' raya. Tosfos brings a raya from this case of these Arabs because they kept the blood to themselves. That the Arab can't do zrikas adam and ruin it for the Jew. The Jew owns the meat, and the Arab owns the blood. Maybe he's going home later and doing avodah zarah with it. We don't care about the blood. The blood doesn't have an effect on the meat. Okay, that was that Tosfos. I'll go upon him. Says the Gemara. Okay, so what do you do? Shachar Rav Toivi barav masnu lekamed Rav Yosef ki agav namai shalach le'yochem Rav Yidam Shmuel alach Rav Yosi. Since alach Rav Yosi that no one could have effect on the shechita besides the shoichet, so I don't care that the guy owns the blood and the Jew could eat whatever he wants. He can't passel it. Rabbi Eliezer says that a guy does have an effect. The owner of the animal does have an effect on the shechita. That's Rabbi Eliezer. We don't pass him like him. Rabbi Eliezer holds he does have effect. As long, what does the Mishnah say? As long as he owns a mashu in the animal, such as the diaphragm, the Gemara says, the Mishnah says. Even nothing, 1% of the animal, he could have an effect on the animal. He could think to himself, this animal is a avodah zarah. So what happens? What happens if the guy prepaid for meat? You hear this? You hear the Shiloh? A guy goes over to a Jew, he's about to shecht an animal, and he says, I'm giving you now $20, I want a piece of steak when you're done. He prepays. Could he have an effect on the animal and say this animal's avodah zarah? He owns now $10, $20 worth of the animal.
It's only according to Rabbi Eliezer, this is Shaila.
Only according to Rabbi Eliezer, that says that somebody, a minor partner in the animal, could have an effect on the animal. Says the Gemara. Omalei depends.
That should be our theme song.
That's like a Kodesh Baruch Hu calling. Omalei chazinon iyin shalahu. If he's a violent human being, the guy, yeah, he's a guy that the Jew is worried about. He can't push him off, and it's $20. It's $20. He's going to get a steak regardless. Aser, he ruined it for the Jew. Viloi, or Malay, listen to this before you leave. You got to listen to this. It's a line you should use a lot. Here's a mountain. Here's your head. You know what you're supposed to do? Take the two and crush them together. In other words, I don't care about you. Jump in the lake. Jump in the lake. Now, you have to understand, Rashi says on the spot, just real quickly, Rashi says he never made him a partner here. Tosfos said, the Rishonim say, wait a minute, Mois Koinois, he bought it with money. There's a big problem here, what you do. So Tosfos says, the Ramban says, you hear this? Even if you hold, no, I'm listening to this before you go. Even if you hold Mois Koinois according to Ramban, Rashi, there's no kinyan here. According to Ramban, he was koino with Mois, so even if you hold Mois Koinois, but since he's scared of the Jew, he's scared to make avodah zarah shtick over here. He's scared of him. But if he's a Gavra Lima, he's not scared, and then he'll do shtick with the Mois Koinois. Have on for
Why is no about it to your side?
What?
Why is not